really fronts coming in and stalling out over our area. So the typical rainy season pattern is starting to settle in. What that means, of course, is the high humidity. That's number one. And also daytime heating allows for pop-up thunderstorms. Plus 90-degree temperature pattern will continue this week. Now, speaking of storms, the storm chance goes up even higher by the end of the week with the threat for the return of severe weather too. Now, that's not until about Friday, but let's talk about right now. It's mild. I mean, look at this. 80 degrees in Wellington, Acreage, 78 down the coast there in Palm Beach County, 76 in Jupiter, and then you got the low 70s up through the rest of the Treasure Coast. Wind is very light or calm all across the board, and there's nothing so far on the radar that I'm tracking, but with that said, can't rule out a stray shower along the coast anytime this morning. So just a heads up on that, but overall should be quiet on the radar. And then in the afternoon, we'll get some isolated thunderstorms. By the time we get into the late afternoon and evening, a lot of those storms are going to track further inland. Highs today reaching 90 at least. I'll have more on those temperatures coming up. It has been high the past few days, and that's persistent. That's going to be every day looking forward. Now, we are expecting a front to actually cut into North Florida by Friday, and that could actually trigger the threat of severe weather once we get into late week. But for today, it's just typical daytime sea breeze or daytime heating plus the sea breeze. And that sea breeze will settle in with a stray shower storm right around 3 o'clock, and it'll try to track westward as basically the east breeze trying to fight off that westerly flow. So then by later this afternoon, any thunderstorms that develop will be further inland. So you can put out all these numbers, but you might get a lot of storms that don't even hit land. But when they do and it's devastating, well, that one storm can make it a historic season, right? So you got to basically prepare for the worst and pray for the best. When it comes to hurricane preparedness, you always want to be ahead of the game too. So never too early to start planning, especially now that we're 5 days out. Nothing on the radar as we wake up on this Tuesday morning. It is muggy though. The wind, it's calm essentially, so not even a breeze to give you some relief this morning from that mugginess. On the Vipercast, we're going to have maybe a few showers or even an isolated thunderstorm along the coast later this morning. That's possible. That chance is there. But again, it's going to be stray or isolated. And once we get into 3 o'clock, the sea breeze will try to develop as it presses further west. And so around that time, there could be an isolated thunderstorm. But as you can see, it's not a washout by all means. It's very isolated, not too much rain on this Vipercast. Then later in the evening, maybe we'll get a couple more thunderstorms developing. So 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock for western cities and also around Lake O, even to the west side of Lake Okeechobee. So basically a typical rainy season day for us, or a summertime day, even though summer hasn't officially kicked off. But certainly we're getting into that rainy season pattern. Now highs today are going to reach 91 degrees. If you're West Palm Beach, out to Okeechobee as well, Belle Glade, Boca could hit 92, 90 in the Treasure Coast. Rain chances are around Palm Beach County, especially on the east side. You got 80 degrees in the Acreage, upper 70s along the coast, and then Belle Glade's at 72. Well, that's nice. Belle Glade and Clewiston, even up through parts of the Treasure Coast, managing to get down into the low 70s, but it doesn't mean that humidity is not there. So it all feels the same for very muggy conditions, and the wind very light or just completely calm. So we don't even have a breeze to help us bring some relief this morning. And so far this morning, nothing on the radar, but there still could be a shower that perhaps develops right along the coast later on this morning. If it does, it's going to be isolated. Then in the afternoon is when we can expect a pop-up thunderstorm. So sea breeze is going to try to develop further inland, not completely all the way to the west because the east breeze or the easterly flow is still kind of slow. However, it's going to try to fight off that western sea breeze. So any thunderstorms by around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, they're going to be isolated and trying to press further westward. Then by the evening hours, we could have a spotty thunderstorm or two. Overall, though, you can see it's not a complete washout out there, but rain chances do go up later this week. I'll have more on that in a few. Humidity is here to stay, so very humid conditions. This is a setup the next few days. Driven by a east-southeast flow, there's going to be a sea breeze boundary each and every day developing, but only isolated storms expected like today. However, late this morning there could be a coastal shower, and then again pop-up storms along the sea breeze tomorrow and Thursday. Now once we get into Friday, rain chances start to go up. We'll talk more closely about that in the 7-day, but for highs today, basically reaching 90 degrees at least, but some of us could hit 91. I'll have more on that 7-day forecast up next.
Okay, looking forward to it.
People that wake up normal hours. Yeah, so anyway. I think it's okay for us to snooze. That's the bottom line. Okay, let's talk about the rain chance today. It's not going to be a washout, but look, this is later in the morning, around 9-10 a.m. We'll have a batch of showers, possibly impacting southeastern portions of Palm Beach County, so from Boca to Boynton Beach, and then eventually it's going to move north and west too, so that will eventually go into northern parts of Palm Beach County, maybe Martin County by noontime. And this is actually kind of the sea breeze boundary trying to settle in. I'll push a little further inland by 2 o'clock. You can see an isolated thunderstorm anywhere between Fellsmere and Indian River County or far western portions of Palm Beach County. And same deal as we go into the evening hours. Most thunderstorms, they should remain further inland, and it's not a washout. So we're not going to get rain everywhere. Not everyone is going to get the rain. Just be prepared with the rain gear just in case. Kind of similar setup for tomorrow. Highs today and tomorrow 91 degrees, 90 for Thursday, Friday, and then on Friday rain chances do start to go up, and here's why. So we started talking about this yesterday. The front, though, yesterday models were showing it kind of arriving earlier though Thursday, but now it's pushing it back to Friday, late Friday, maybe even not until Saturday morning. As it does get closer to us, it stalls out basically over central Florida. But this could trigger also the possibility of strong thunderstorms Friday, maybe even Saturday